Mike Zweifel here today on WEKZ, AM 1260 and FM 95.5 for To The Point. It's a Friday, and we're going to get some education with the latest installment of the Greene County Leaders Session that was held this past Wednesday. Let's meet the group and some of the future leaders of Greene County. Let's go around the room here. First voice you're going to hear, no stranger to big radio. We hear on a number of ads for the organization she works for. Janelle, introduce yourself.
I'm Janelle Rucker with Woodford State Bank.
All right, Janelle, thanks for coming aboard. Just real quickly, how are things going for you with Greene County Leaders?
Greene County Leaders has been really life-changing so far. I think it makes you really slow down and think about your surroundings and the people that you're working with. And it's just been overall a really great experience.
Were you used to Greene County Leaders? Did you know about it before joining the group?
I did not.
Fantastic. And you're actually from the area, I understand, right? Not necessarily Monroe, but just outside?
Yes, I was born and raised in South Wayne and lived in Monroe many years. And currently my husband and I reside in Orfordville.
All right. So just on the other side of Greene County there, touching Rock County. Well, glad to have you aboard here, Janelle. We'll hear all about your experience with Greene County Leaders. Let's come to my right here. Stephanie, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Plath, and I work at SSM Health Monroe Clinic.
All right. What do you do there at SSM Health then, Stephanie?
I am a registration coach for the branch satellite locations between Illinois and Wisconsin.
So a little traveling then.
A lot of traveling.
All right. Are you from Monroe, Greene County, born in this area?
I grew up in South Wayne, Wisconsin.
So technically kind of your home turf then?
Absolutely.
And I know there's a lot of employees that have come through SSM Health that have gone through Greene County Leaders. Is this something new for you? How were you approached to join this year's sessions?
Actually, I was approached quite a few years ago when I first became a coach. I was such a new environment as being in a leadership role that I kind of wanted to get more comfortable in the leadership role before moving on into a Greene County leader role. And I just happened to have that opportunity come about again, and I thought, might as well go for it.
How's it been knowing that? I've talked to a couple of folks already from SSM Health already. Does it help knowing that you've got some colleagues there in the group?
Absolutely. Actually, my director went through it a few years ago, so it's been nice getting to learn about how the great experiences that she learned and now that I'm learning.
So we'll hear more about your experience here so far. Thanks for joining us here today, Stephanie. Last but certainly not least, the third leg of this triangle. Ashley, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Ashley Reeder, and I am with Hughes Resources.
And what sort of things you do there at Hughes Resources, Ashley?
So Hughes Resources is a staffing company. So we work with a variety of clients in the area to help find them employees.
All right, fantastic. You from the area originally? Give us a little backstory.
I am from the area. I was born and raised in Greene County, live in Greene County, and I've never left.
Well, glad to have you aboard here. Now, Greene County Leaders, is this something foreign for you, or did you kind of know about this organization?
So I did not know about this organization. So this is brand new to me, and I absolutely love it.
What was that conversation like when you were kind of brought, assuming somebody at Hughes Resources said, hey, got this opportunity, we'd like to send you to Greene County Leaders. What was that like?
At first I thought, well, why me? But no, it's been fantastic. I was really excited that they wanted me to do that.
Let's get to know a little bit what you guys just did this past Wednesday, I believe your guys' session was. Ashley, you're in front of the microphone. Let's start with you. Where'd you guys go on Wednesday? Where were you guys at location-wise?
So we went to Belleville on Wednesday, and we were in the public library, which was just built.
And what were some of the topics here? What were some of the themes for this week's session for the month of October?
So on the last session, we talked about relational leadership and networking. So we went over emotional intelligence. We got a tour of the Belleville Public Library. And then we went and we talked about real colors and understanding yourself and others for better communication. We then also did a little tour of the train depot that was in Belleville as well, and the potential for what that is going to be.
All right, so a little gamut there. Belleville, just curious, growing up in this area, Belleville, is that an area you've spent a lot of time in, or was this kind of a neat experience for you to take on something new?
So I actually have spent some time there. My grandma lives just outside of Belleville. So on the weekends, we would be delivering eggs and different vegetables to the grocery stores in town there, which I think is something kind of unique that you don't see in Monroe often.
Got it. Stephanie, I want you to jump in here. When Ashley's talking about these color reels, dive into that a little bit here. What was your big takeaway from these color reels?
So this was my third time doing the colors testing or training on that. My color has actually changed quite a few times based on where I was at in life, what role I was in, and even just my leadership growth. I felt like it was a very good learning opportunity because we also got to see how we've grown in not only our personal life, but also our work life and how we can relate to others based on their color. So sometimes you can say, oh, I get that that person's a green, or, oh, I know that that person's an orange. And it was just like you were able to connect with your group a little bit more based on what you were learning in that training.
Now, these colors, you being a coach, is this something that you use almost every day in your work environment?
I can relate to my staff better because of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. What's another big takeaway from you from this past session?
We got to witness kind of like what we call it one-to-one training. So it's trying to really gauge in on not only are you actively listening to the other person, but you're also trying to think of other questions in the moment to learn more about that individual. I really liked that part of the session the most because it really took a time for you to sit back and say, you know what, I want to actively listen to see what you're saying, but also I care about what you're saying.
Just quickly, what were your colors then this past week?
I was almost tied between orange and blue.
Okay. Ashley, what were your colors?
My top color was a blue. I was almost 100% blue.
Okay. Janelle, your colors?
And I was also 100% blue.
If memory serves me correct, blue is kind of the most common, I believe, of the colors. Janelle, what's your takeaway here? What was kind of your big takeaway from this session in Belleville?
I think just understanding how people communicate and just really getting to know the person in general and knowing how they interact on a daily basis and just understanding them a little bit more makes your work environment that much better.
Janelle, you mentioned you're at Woodford State Bank. I failed to ask you, what's kind of your role there and title there at Woodford State Bank?
Yeah, I'm the Business Banking Development Officer there. So I work strictly with businesses, but obviously I work with people on a regular basis. I sell products, so I'm able to go and meet businesses in person and communicate a lot over the phone.
And I know a group and going through with Greene County leaders to make you a leader, not just throughout the community, but also when you take it back to your work setting. How are some things like these colors? Is this something that helps you understand, like when maybe you're potentially working here in 2-3 weeks down the line with potential new business leaders? Is this something that you can maybe pick things up on now and maybe better understand where they're coming from?
Absolutely. Just sitting there and listening to someone talk, you can really get to know them on how their gestures are, how maybe their tone is, and just really getting to know how they like navigate their business and just really understanding them as a whole, as their personality and as a business.
Just curious, you again from the South Wayne area, Belleville, is this a foreign territory for you?
Slightly. I played a lot of sports there growing up, but being actually in the community, I didn't know that they had a brand new library. So it was really interesting to see how small of a community they are and what they've been able to accomplish so far.
Again, Janelle Ruckert with Woodford State Bank, Ashley Reeders, Stephanie Plath with us here as well. Let's talk about some surprising aspects here. I know you guys are kind of getting settled in here now with Greene County leaders. What was a big surprise that you maybe were kind of learning through a system? What was a big surprise that you took away from this past Greene County leaders session?
I had a lot of takeaways, but I think that the just main one that really just stood out to me is just watching a small community be able to come together and accomplish so much. Like, for instance, they just built the brand new library downtown in Belleville, and having to bring so many people together to make that happen. And now they're trying to, one up that next one and do this old railroad station that's going to take a lot of work, but they're bringing in so many people that just for brainstorming ideas and just trying to figure out how they can make their community even better. So it's just nice seeing that, just outside of Monroe, there's another community that's trying to bring everyone together just as Monroe is. So it's just nice, being able to connect with other communities that are trying to accomplish the same thing in our area.
What's something, Ashley, I'll come to you here next. Again, Ashley Reeder, Hughes Resources, she mentioned. Ashley, you're going to learn something new each of these sessions, but there's going to be a lot of things that maybe surprise you. What was a big surprising aspect of this past session?
I think for me, the most surprising aspect of it was learning about Belleville and how they aren't seeing some of the other struggles that we are seeing as far as housing and childcare. They're pretty set in that standard. And so they're working on bringing things into the community. And to me, that was very surprising because in Monroe, there's such a focus on, the lack of childcare and the lack of housing and things like that.
When you're talking about that type of thing, is it because of the proximity to bigger communities like Verona and Madison? Is that some of the big bonuses that they have compared to maybe Monroe? They're by the bigger cities, metropolitan areas?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's just a lot of reasonably priced houses there for people from the bigger communities to come there.
Okay, interesting. Hey, I want to shift gears just a little bit away from this past session. It's including this past session, Stephanie. At our last meeting here a couple of weeks back with Greene County leaders, a couple of gentlemen from the law firm just down the road here told us that you guys got to get going on your projects. Talk about your role with the project here and maybe refresh our listeners. What is the project you guys are focused on this year?
Yeah, I'm in a group where we are focusing on awareness in youth sports. And it's really to not only find out the awareness of what youth sports offer, how to gain financial help, what resources you have available, and also potentially incorporating what's called an equipment swap. We're very excited to kind of get this going. We have a lot of people that we're going to be networking with to try to build on this, and we're going to start here in Monroe first.
So it sounds like then there's a lot of projects kind of coinciding with one another this year.
Absolutely. So it's kind of like a two-part phase for this project. The equipment swap is one, but the other is really just building that youth awareness around, what is available for kids, not only just for a sport, but how can you afford to go out for that sport? What are some resources that are available within the county that can help you pay for that? Not only just the fees, but the equipment and just in general.
Janelle, let's come to you. What's your role with this upcoming project here for Greene County leaders?
I'm also in the same group as Stephanie. I recently just went to the Monroe Public Library for their resilience filming. I had a huge takeaway from there, and I think it just even made me realize more that I am in the right group. There was a statistic that was given there that 59% of youth that are not going out for sports, they have a 59% chance more of suicide rate. And I just felt like that was like alarming for one, but just so incredible to hear what maybe we could accomplish with our group and what we could educate youth on with getting into a sport or learning more about it, or maybe even educating the parents. Maybe the parents don't realize just how much a sport can bring leadership or communication to a child's life. So I'm really excited to do the youth sport with my group. There's 7 of us, so I think that we'll be able to really accomplish something great.
Yeah, it's not even just the wins and losses, but just being around other kids your age and building those bonds and friendships. They've got to go a long way. When you say that staggering statistic, that is mind-blowing of what those numbers are.
Absolutely.
Let's close it up here a little bit here. Ashley, what's your role with this project? Just kind of curious here. You're not in the same group, or we got a little diversity here?
We do have a little diversity here. So the group that I am part of is working on bringing art into Monroe Main Street. So looking at something that we can do for the next 3 to 5 years. What we would like to do in particular is be able to bring the kids in the community and bring the families in the community in order to help make these art projects happen versus some of the other beautiful art projects out there that have been individualized with one person doing them. We want it to be a family event.
Is art big in your background, Ashley, or is this new?
It's new, and that's why I wanted to try it.
All right, we'll start with you, Ashley. We'll close things up. What are you most looking forward to as you guys continue your Greene County leader journey? Is there a place you're looking forward of going? Is there more you want to learn about yourself? What are you most looking forward to as you guys continue Greene County leaders?
I think learning more about myself and learning more about the community. I've been here for a very long time, and there's so many things that I'm unaware of. So definitely learning about myself and just growing and seeing how I can bring that back to the people that I work with daily.
Okay. I'm curious to see what you other two individuals have to say here. Stephanie, we'll start with you. What are you most looking forward to going forward here with Greene County leaders?
I enjoy the stepping outside of my comfort zone, connecting with other leaders in the community, and also just building on that skill set. I have literally learned something brand new from every session so far that we've done. We've gone through 3 sessions already, and I just get excited for the next time that we get to meet.
You get the last word here, Janelle. Most looking forward to going forward here. Greene County Leaders, place looking forward to going, just overall, the program, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm really excited about just the entire program altogether. Being able to collaborate and work with other, potential huge leaders in this community, and just coming together and learning more about myself and my internal growth personally and in a business setting, and just really, coming together as a community and just making where we live that much better.
All right. Very good. Hey, Janelle, Ashley, Stephanie, thanks so much for coming in here and doing this here today. Appreciate that. Best of luck the rest of the way with Greene County Leaders.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Mike Zwiefel here. Greene County Leaders, our recap chat here on this Friday on WEKZ.